Hello class, just wanted to kind of go over a little bit more in detail about this particular project 4, the step 1 of it. I feel because it is a kind of like a website design that it's going to be a little more in depth, and I just felt like it would be beneficial for you guys to understand a little bit more of where I'm going with things, and also kind of walk you through a little bit more on the homework scope, which is what I have here. As you know, in all the weeks that we've had, we always have a homework scope that goes along with everything. And the first part is always going to be about the client. And just keep in mind that the client is always going to be made up. It is based on real clients from my past, but I just morph them into, I create different things for them. So it really is a made up type of a client. And the reason why I do that is because I want to encourage you guys to use your imagination. So that's why I pretty much say it in specifically in this particular homework scope. And then the scope in itself kind of gives you a little more detail about the made-up client. But then I want you to go ahead and use your own imagination and brainstorming methods that we've been talking about. Do the research. I say it in big bold letters here. Do research in the specifications. And that's something else I want you to understand too, is go into the specifications, because then it will obviously give you the rundown of what needs to be done for that week's time. So in this particular one, and make sure you go to the lecture, because the lecture is going to really break this down for you as well. The visual sitemap you're going to work on sketched. That will really help you understand the structure of what the website's going to be, the elements that are going to be within the next part that is going to be due is also sketched, and that is the wireframe of the homepage. I do this all the time with all my website design work. I always do some sort of a sitemap to show the client, and then after that I do the the wireframe that goes along with it, sketched, to kind of let them know specifically where things are going to possibly be, what I thought of based on my research, and so on and so forth. And then, placing in the items that I placed in the sitemap into the home page in various areas, but a little more designed, a little more, showing what things are gonna look like, and so on and so forth. So this is just giving you kind of an idea of what I'm looking for as a sketch wireframe of the homepage. The third thing is going to be your animated GIF, and this is kind of a fun thing. We're going old school this particular week, kind of going back in the past, and I always like to do that. I like to talk about the history of things, because I feel like you appreciate the history in order to understand the present and the future. So that's why I do what I do. So this particular one is going to be about animated GIFs from back in the day, and we're going to go over, a viral video that was in the past in the 90s, and you're going to be, creating from that. Again, look at the lecture, all the videos. You'll understand it a little bit more as well. This is kind of just giving you a little bit more of a rundown from what you're going to see in the lab, to get to the timeline part of your lab. You're going to go into window and timeline, and then boop, it's going to pop up. And we're not going to worry about that. Okay. And so then here we have 2 parts that you're going to see in the lab. You're going to have the layers area, which you guys have been kind of going over a little bit with the Photoshop lab that you had from last week with rendering. And then we have a timeline area, okay, that's on the bottom here. So the layers area is where you're going to create all your fun situational stuff, your elements. So a color background, you're going to have your banana man. And the banana man is going to have the different steps already to it, the animation to it, and you're just going to turn it on, when you feel this is how you want your animation to be. So you have your banana man for this particular step, and then, you know, any kind of information you want to put. So I'm just doing something simple, but I want you guys to go all out. I want you to have fun with it. I want you to be creative with it. This is your lab assignment that you're going to be giving me, and then gonna see all your fun animated GIFs afterwards. So once you have everything that you want to turn on, and again, this is all what you're gonna see in the lab, it will reflect in the bottom area here where there's a frame. And I hope you can see it. I know it's a little small, but you'll see it in the lab as well. So, you know, make sure to use the lab too, along with this video to help you out. So once you have all of the layers that you want to have turned on and the frame looks good, you're going to go to the next frame. You're going to create another frame. Then this frame is now turned on, so you're gonna do almost like an animation. So I'm gonna click all of these off. Okay, now you see it down here, it's all off. And then you're gonna go into the next part that you wanna have. So I'm just, again, making this really kind of easy peasy, just to show you an example. So then I made a different color. I'm saying peanut and now I'm saying butter. And you see here it's reflected in the frame. Okay, now I'm gonna turn on the next frame and start all over again. And keep going until you get how you want this to look. So as you can see, it's starting to do its animation, okay? So that's how you kind of do it. That's a little bit of the rundown of how you do it. And you're going to be able to also look at the lab, the step-by-step lab that I provide you, and see a little bit more of information and some tips and tricks that I'm gonna give to you. But like I said, go all out, have fun with it. It's gonna be, you know, definitely a fun lab this week. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to go over. The next part of the homework scope talks about the project website content that you got from the quote-unquote client, you know, the make-believe client. And so this is just giving you some information that you're going to, you know, the basic information that you can put into your website, and or things that the client had asked you or talked to you about per se. Okay, again, imagine that you are talking to the client, and these are some of the things that they are asking or letting you know of. And this is kind of just to give you like a real world version of what it would be like if a client was actually giving you the brain dump on, you know, what they're looking for with a website design. All right, so make sure to look at everything through your homework scope this week. Make sure to provide me all of the stuff that I would like to see for the homework, and have fun with your animated GIF. All right, bye.